and welcome to another episode of InfoScope. I'm your host, Hannah Kim. It's once again time for the latest from the IT and science world. Let's take a look at what we have coming up in the first part of our show. Lately, numerous earthquakes of various magnitudes have hit Korea in the Gyeongsangnam-do province. Adding to many of the concerns is the fact that the epicenter was near nuclear power facilities and radioactive storage facilities. We'll find out what experts are doing to ensure our safety. But first, we're also going to take a look at a story about how students who dream of pursuing a career in forensic science recently had the chance to attempt their own scientific investigations. What a great hands-on approach to learning. Well, we have more on this story next on Briefing Scope. 200 high school students had the opportunity to learn more about forensic science. The organizers aim to hold similar competitive events in the future so that students can foster their dreams of becoming forensic scientists. Experts have pointed out that some 38 earthquakes have occurred within 30 kilometers of Gyeongju's radioactive waste storage facility between 1981 and September 2014. Experts are calling for an investigation into the region's geological features and measures to ensure safety for all. Apple's latest wireless earphones, AirPods, have raised concerns about exposure to harmful electromagnetic radiation. While some researchers have said they are completely harmless, others believe that cellular phones emit a significant amount of electromagnetic radiation that could be linked with brain cancer. Experts have stated that there is no link between North Korea's recent nuclear tests and the strong earthquake that hit the southeastern part of South Korea. They reason that there is a significant physical distance between the two regions and that artificial earthquakes emit only P waves carrying little energy. I know that North Korea's nuclear tests have caused a lot of rumors on the internet, but hopefully that last report will help clarify any confusions. But staying on the topic of earthquakes, until now, Korea has been considered relatively safe from earthquakes. However, historical records following the Three Kingdoms era show that some 2,000 earthquakes have hit the country. We'll have more about Korea's past earthquakes and the faults running under Gyeongju. But before that, we're going to shift gear a little bit right now and talk about some news in AR or augmented reality. With the recent popularity of the mobile game Pokemon Go, interest in AR has been growing by the day. And now, new technology may allow us to use AR in our daily lives and not just in video games. Let's take a closer look at these new developments next on Industry Inside.
This electric drill has a laser that indicates where a hole should be made and projects a display showing how far the drill has gone. When you input an item on this tablet, the shopping cart shows the way to the aisle. Positioning the tablet in front of the item presents the price tag and additional information. These are all examples of augmented reality, where additional information is superimposed on reality. Many have become interested in augmented reality through the release of the AR-equipped video game Pokemon Go. However, AR is not a new technology, as many companies have been working on it for years now. Earlier this year, Microsoft released the mixed reality headset HoloLens. Holograms are projected onto the semi-transparent lenses of the headset and seen against the real backdrop. The wearer can change their surroundings as they wish, from a setting from a video game to a workspace.
You can build technology that allows people to interact with their digital world in the exact same way that they interact with the real world.
Augmented reality was a game changer in the world of video games. Now the world waits to see how it will change our everyday life. Official scientific earthquake observations began in 1978 in Korea. However, reports of earthquakes go far back in history. Earthquakes are mentioned about 2,000 times in the ancient texts of Samguksagi, Koryosa, and the annals of the Chosun dynasty. In other words, there was at least one strong earthquake every year throughout Korean history. 102 earthquakes took place during the Three Kingdoms era and the unified Shilla dynasty. Most of them were in Gyeongju, Buya, Pyongyang, and Gyeongju. During the reign of King Haegong in 779, there is a record of an earthquake in March that resulted in more than 100 deaths.
가장 큰 피해는 통일신라 시기 779년 경주에서 발생한 지진으로 집들이 무너져 100여 명이 사망했습니다. 한반도에서 발생한 가장 큰 지진에 속하고 그 규모는 6.7로 평가됩니다.
There are records of some 10 earthquakes in 1430 during the reign of King Sejong of the Chosun dynasty. There are also records of walls collapsing in Daegu and Andong due to an earthquake in Ulsan in 1643. The largest number of earthquakes was registered in the Yeongnam region, and Gyeongju in particular saw numerous strong earthquakes. It proves that the fault line crossing the region was active at that time as well.
근데 15, 18세기에는 굉장히 지진 활동이 활발해가지고 그다음에 19, 20세기에는 지진이 낮은 편인데 이것은 한반도와 같이 판 내부에 있는 지진 활동의 특성이에요.
However, there's no clear pattern in the frequency of earthquakes, making it even trickier to predict when the next one will hit. There are numerous fault lines of different sizes in the Yeongnam region. With nuclear power plants clustered in that area, there's an ongoing debate about nuclear safety. In 2008, these controversies were fueled by the plans to build a radioactive waste storage facility in Gyeongju, as the site for the facility was right above the Yangsan fault. The key to the issue was whether the fault was active or not. Environmental groups claimed that the fault was active and had a history of activity, but the site investigators concluded that it was inactive after doing geological surveys.
지금 경주 방패장 부지의 안정성 문제는 근본에서부터 다시 검토하지 않으면 안 되는 심각한 상황이라는 것이
The recent earthquake in Gyeongju has confirmed that the Yangsan fault is active. There is a need to conduct new safety inspections of the waste storage facility and nearby nuclear plants.
지진이 발생했다는 측면에서는 분명히 이거는 활성 단층이고요. 어느 단층이냐에 따라서는 국가적으로도 굉장히 많은 이제 논쟁이 벌어질 것 같아요.
Geologists believe that the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and the 2016 Kumamoto earthquake in Japan have changed the crustal structure of the Korean peninsula. Since the Yeongnam region and the Korea Strait were particularly affected, it's possible that the fault zones nearby have become active.
If you think about it, Korea has never really dealt with earthquake issues to this point. We can only hope that there won't be any more damaging earthquakes on the Korean peninsula. Now, moving on to the next segment, a team of US-based researchers has come up with an alternative way to identify a person. This method doesn't use a person's DNA, rather a person's protein. We'll give you more information on this shortly. And speaking of protein, did you know that certain types of protein are used to treat cancer and other diseases? While it may be possible as a treatment option, one shortcoming is the fact that such proteins may become vulnerable once it enters the body. Korean researchers have now developed a way to overcome this problem by using a nanoparticle which acts as a protective cover. How does this exactly work? We have the answers for you next on Take a Peek.
Antibodies and insulin are examples of therapeutic proteins, and they are used to treat diseases like cancer. However, one shortcoming is that these proteins lose their properties during the delivery. This is because the proteins can react to other biological materials, or the immune system can recognize them as foreign bodies and attack. Researchers from the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology have come up with a way to overcome this problem by using a nanoparticle called exosome. The proteins were inserted into exosomes, which act as a protective cover. In this case, the protein remains untouched and can safely reach the source of a disease.
이 면역 반응을 일으키려면 혈액 안에서 이 단백질이 면역 세포와 만나야 됩니다. 근데 저희 기술은 이 단백질을 엑소솜 내부에 감싸고 있기 때문에 결국 면역 세포로부터 회피를 할 수 있는 거죠.
When you shine light on therapeutic proteins and exosomes, the two bind to each other like magnets.
빛에 의해서 붙는 자석 단백질 쌍을 이용을 했는데요. 한쪽 끝은 우리 엑소점에다 붙이고 한쪽 끝은 저희가 원하는 단백질에 붙이게 됩니다. 그래서 빛을 주면 이것이 자석처럼 붙게 되고 자연스럽게 이 원하는 단백질이 엑소점으로 들어가게 되는 원리를 이용하게 되었습니다.
The researchers have transferred the technology to a local company, and they are preparing for clinical tests. The research and its results were published in the scientific journal Nature Communications. In 2006, a man was found dead under a manhole in a university campus in Busan. The body was so decomposed that his identity could not be verified at the time. However, his face was recently reconstructed. This was possible due to the genetic information in his teeth. DNA analysis is the most common method used in forensic science to check a person's identity. Now, there is a new method that uses hair protein instead of DNA. Researchers from the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in the United States analyzed the hair samples of 76 individuals of different ethnicities and 6 skeletal remains, and found that they had different amino acid patterns. Just like DNA, protein markers can be used to identify an individual.
Could expand and solve some of the problems that are currently there in the forensic science field. How to deal with mixed DNA samples or forensic samples where many contributors are there.
DNA breaks down quickly when exposed to light or heat. However, hair is more resilient and can remain intact for hundreds of years. The researchers analyzed the hair of 6 individuals who lived 150 to 250 years ago and found different amino acid patterns. They aim to include more diverse groups of people in their research and make hair a reliable tool for identification. This is the International Space Station. The astronauts are drinking water that was transported from Earth on the H-2B rocket developed by Japan. The H-2B is capable of transporting cargo up to 15 tons, but the problem is the cost. The H-2 is Japan's first rocket made solely with domestic technologies, but the production alone costs about $170 million. For the upgraded H-2A and H-2B, Japan managed to cut costs to between $80 and $90 million, but they are still more expensive than the Arirang rocket. In response, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe called for a cheaper H-3 rocket by 2020.
軽量化もありますが、作り方を簡単にするとか、いろいろ工夫するポイントはあります。
They are also testing a landing technology that will be used to drop expended fuel tanks in preset locations. Japanese researchers are also working on making the rocket bodies re-enter Earth's atmosphere to reuse them in the future.
우주에서 대기권 재도립할 때 비행 제어를 합니다. 이것은 결국은 유사시에 군사용으로 사용될 때도.
Japan has consistently made advances in rocket technology following its successful development of the H-2 in 1994. Since Korea's own space launch vehicle program only started 6 years later, Japan's progress is something to keep an eye on.
Both Japan and China have made huge milestones in space, and it looks like these H-2 rockets will also change the future of space exploration. Although Korea is a latecomer in the space market, I'm sure we'll close that gap in no time, especially all the ongoing space projects and research projects. Now, this concludes our episode of InfoScope. I hope you all learned something new today from today's show. Remember, we will be back next week with more from science and IT. But until then, have a wonderful day and goodbye.